Hello, hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Vanessa. I'm a talent advisor here at Salesforce. I'm part of the university recruiting team, also known as Futureforce. And today we are talking all about our graduate and intern solution engineering roles at Salesforce. And today on the stream with me, I'm also joined by former Futureforce intern and grad alum, current solution engineer, Alvaro. Alvaro, would you like to say hi?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alvaro, and as Vanessa said, I'm a Futureforce Solution Engineer alumni. I am from Madrid, Spain, even though I am currently based in good old Dublin, Ireland, where I work as a solution engineer for Spain and Portugal. And what I do on my day-to-day is helping small and medium businesses and startups from Spain and Portugal in getting through their digital transformation.
Welcome, Alvaro, and thanks for being with us today. So many of you may be asking yourselves at the moment, what's exactly solution engineering? And solution engineers at Salesforce meet with potential customers to understand their business goals, and then they offer exciting technical solutions to that customer. A solution engineer often acts as a translator, taking complex challenges and offering solutions that are easy for everyone to understand. And Alvaro, can you give us an example of how you are doing your role of solution engineering at the moment?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So in my day-to-day job, I mainly work customer facing. So that means talking with people, with customers or potential customers. And what I do is understand their goals and strategies, and then try to find out what solutions or how can we technically and from a business perspective help these customers or potential customers achieve their goals. Also, I work internally in trying to find out the right solution, staying updated, and also staying on top of the latest trends on technology and business.
You told us before that you are a former intern. Tell us about your journey.
Great. So my journey, it's, I believe, a bit of an interesting one. So I started, first of all, studying, as many of you probably are, or wrapping up your studies. I did a bachelor's on video game design and development. So yeah, that's a bit of a different one. And with a double degree on computer engineering. So while I was finishing my one of the last years of college, I heard from one of my family members of a great software called Salesforce that they were working with, and I got interested a bit more on that software, and that ended up in me getting interested in the company itself and applying for an internship position as a solution engineer in Madrid, Spain. That's when I reached Vanessa. I got in touch with Vanessa through the process, and Vanessa decided I was the right candidate for it, as we will talk a bit later. And I got hired as an intern. So during this year as an intern, I was able to get my first certification that we call administrator for Salesforce, and also keep working in Trailhead, that it's a learning platform that we have available for everyone, so that I could uplift or develop my skills on Salesforce and also other skills. Then also during this year, I was able to also apply for a graduate role for when I finished my college degree. And then I moved to Dublin. So after moving to Dublin, I also was able to promote again to a solution engineer. And currently, as I said before, I'm working for the Spain and Portugal SMB team based in Dublin.
I'm sure the audience here with us today wants to know how they can join the solution engineering team. So tell us, what did you do to prepare for your interviews?
Well, so that's a very interesting question, and everyone has a bit of a different process. But I think in general, for every company or every position that you want to apply for, I think it's, first of all, really important to research about the company. So make sure you know what the company does, the values that drive their business or the company itself, and what are some of the latest announcements in the company and the industry. So for example, in my case, when I started applying for the internship and grad program, everyone talked about GDPR, so data protection in Europe. And That was a question that came up in both my internship and graduate program interviews or hiring processes. Then also I would make sure that I know all the role description and requirements. So what am I actually applying for, and what does the company or Salesforce require from me? So then researching employees that have a role or a similar one on LinkedIn, learning about the role and focusing on the skills that are important so that I can elevate those or focus on those on my pitch. And then also, I think the most important one is relaxing and make sure you're comfortable with your plan for the interview, because in the end, it's 99.99999% sure that at some point during that interview, you're going to have to improvise. So making sure you feel comfortable with yourself, with the position you're on and the role you're applying for, it's key to driving a good interview that I'm sure is going to help you land a good Salesforce job or role.
So let's summarize that, and let's give some interview tips for the audience today. So search for the company, read the job description carefully, match each of the requirements to the skills in your CV, and then practice your story and your elevator pitch. Great. Tell us about your internship. What do you think was really valuable learning during the internship that helped you to get your full-time role?
So for me, my internship, first of all, was my first working experience. Okay. And I'm sure that for many of you also, it will be. So first of all was learning about the work environment. So learning to work in an environment of a tech company that it's super fast paced, where you're going to start having some small responsibilities, always with a safety net or with some coverage, so that you don't feel, let's say, overwhelmed with those. But you're also going to be able to get recognition, and that's something that it's super satisfying to live in your first work experience. Then also working as a team, it's something that also in college it's encouraged, but here you're going to really understand and focus on how teamwork, it's always dream work, or it always works, it always makes your work better. And finally, also for me, my personal case, I learned about a lot about business. So I had a technical background. I know my stuff around APIs, Java, all the coding, all this kind of stuff. And for me, this internship was like a fast-paced business course where I learned a lot of things about businesses. So given the fact that I kept working with loads of different businesses, I could keep learning about new trends, industries, and concepts in loads of different areas. So as a fun fact, for example, the first day I joined Salesforce, I didn't even know what B2B or B2C were. So now, for example, I've worked by myself with over 200 different customers, and I kind of know a little bit about B2B and B2C after 200 of them. But so just so you know how much do you really get to learn during that first year, that I started from scratch from the business side, and I consider myself pretty comfortable around those topics.
For those of you that don't know, we have a 1-year solution engineering internship based in Spain and in Italy. But not just that, we also have a summer solution engineering internship across Europe and UK. And Alvaro, what were your highlights and challenges in your first year as a graduate?
Yeah, so for my graduate year, I think there were plenty of highlights, but some of the main ones, first of all, was I think moving to Dublin. So moving to what I call the Silicon Valley of Europe, so where all the main tech companies are based, was a great experiences. Getting to discover a new city, a new country, a new culture was super cool and inspiring. Then also being able to meet new people. So when you join the grad program, you're not alone. As a grad program, you're gonna be together with a whole cohort. So this cohort is gonna allow you to get in touch or involved in projects and work with new colleagues that are your age, interested around the same topics. And probably like I was able to, well, not probably, most definitely, you're gonna be assured to make also new friends. So some of the people that I worked with and that I met during this grad program, now I'm great friends with them. I even live with them. So that is also a great highlight for me. I could say highlights all day, by the way, but for the challenges that I'm sure that you're also pretty interested on. So first of all, I started being accountable for myself, which was at the beginning, kind of tricky, and also a cool experience to live. So studying, I started to have my own responsibilities. That means that you're going to be accountable of them. So that made me learn that I had to, as I said before, work as a team. And also at Salesforce, we have a great culture of help. So never hesitate to raise the hand for help. And for me, and I think everyone at Salesforce can say this, I've always had someone to help me with all of the tasks that I had. When the time comes, take your opportunity to show the world that what you're capable of. In Salesforce, you're going to have loads of opportunities to show, to have visibility across the company. And one of them, for example, in the case of us, my cohort of grads, was that we were some of the first employees to live through a COVID era. So when I joined 6 months after COVID hit the world, so that changed the world to a whole new reality. So that also meant a new opportunity for us to collaborate and contribute to the whole Salesforce organization, so worldwide level. And it gave us an opportunity to help the leadership team to rethink our processes and adapt them to a new virtual reality. And a good thing I learned from this is that Salesforce is a great company also in terms of visibility, as leadership was always open and keen to listen to even us as grads as to what we were, our ideas or how we could contribute to this new reality.
Did you know that the solution engineering grads attend an intensive bootcamp where they get exposure to top senior leaders, and they also get certified on multiple Salesforce platforms? So and now let's hear from the audience. I know that we got a few questions. Okay, I think the first one is for me. Just wondering if the solution engineering intern roles on the careers fair page. Yes, all our roles are posted in our careers page, and you will find them live in November. At the moment, we haven't started yet the intern hiring season. And question from you, Alvaro: how can they transition from software role to solution engineering role?
So from my understanding, this is a software role from a different company than Salesforce. I think the best way, as I said, it's to try to learn a bit about what the solution engineer role is about. So focusing on more of the business sides of the solution part of the projects, and from there you can start taking a look at the careers page. As Vanessa said, there's some tips and some help there to make sure that you know what the role requires, and if it's internally, you have other mechanisms to drive that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And another one for you. What do you love most about your role?
Well, so this is a complex one, actually, because there are a lot of things I like about my job. So I would say the main one that I like, it's that I spend most of my time talking with people, with customers. So what I do in my day-to-day, it's help people and business owners to make their companies more successful and help them transition help them through their digital transformation in this current era. So that, and also the fast-paced environment that I have, I work with a lot of different customers, and that makes me also be able, puts me in a position to learn a lot of things about different areas.
Mm-hmm. And where do you see your career trajectory going at Salesforce?
Well, for now, I am kind of happy where I am, but for the future, first of all, my first move I would like to do is maybe a move back to country. So at some point, I would like to come back to Spain, where I'm from. And also in the future, in Salesforce, we're lucky enough to have a lot of doors open. So maybe try to put myself into more of a management trajectory, or maybe even switching into sales, so that I get to cover a bit more some of the different areas that we work with at Salesforce.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think the next one is for me. Is there a solution engineering in the US? Well, yes. These are global roles that we have in the 4 different regions. So Europe, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. And we have another one, I think it's also here for me. Which particular graduation year students could be eligible for the role? So for those of you who are thinking about applying to our intern programs, we are looking for students who will graduate in 2023. Whereas for those who are planning to apply to graduate roles, we are looking for recent grads, 2022 or 2021 graduates. And Alvaro, question for you. Is it hard to get into the Salesforce ecosystem?
Well, that's also a tricky question. It's relative, I would say, but I would say it's not hard. So at Salesforce as an ecosystem, we have a load of different options to join it. So focusing mainly on Salesforce itself, we have a lot of different positions open for a huge variety of roles, and mainly for the solution engineering one that we're talking about today. We're open for candidates from loads of different backgrounds. Okay, and as we talked about before, mine was maybe a bit of a technical one, but I'm sure Vanessa here knows more about that. We've hired people with loads of different backgrounds.
Okay, I think that's all. We don't have any more questions. So thanks for watching, and check out our Futureforce website for all our upcoming roles. Bye-bye.
Bye.